All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 377 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. Today, we're going to end the week on some Atlanta Falcons news, and we're going to go ahead and get into it. Talk about what Olamide Zaccheaus said, and give you my thoughts and opinions on all of that. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. I'm usually on YouTube and Rumble. Also can be found on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. So if you want to listen outside of the visuals, I'm on all those platforms, and I highly recommend you to subscribe to any of those avenues. All the links are down in the description if you want to support, not only just through viewership, if you want to donate, all that stuff is there. So let's go ahead and get into this. Friday, and it is, the weekend. I want to get you guys in and out of here. Don't want to waste too much of your time. Let's talk about what wide receiver Olamide Zaccheaus said. He feels like this team is a playoff team. Now, I'm not against that. I've been a really big fan of this turnaround, and I feel like we can improve based on what we did last year. Went 7-10 last year. We was the best 7-10 team. We were the best bad team, in the league. This team is pretty much turned around. And with the team the way it is now, the Falcons are on their way to actually do some big things. I think they can shock some people. And I think that's one of the things that Zaccheaus said as well. It is in an article that you can find on NFL.com. I want to let you guys know who put that together. Kevin Patra of NFL.com put this together, and also it was quoted in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution what Zaccheaus said. He said basically they just have to put everything together. They really need to start fast at the beginning of the season, not get into a hole. Just feel like that as a team they can shock a lot of people. Now, I believe this as well. I think they can shock a lot of people and be the surprise of the NFL. They're probably one of the biggest turnarounds in the making. You got all these receivers coming in, some veterans, some rookies, some veterans on defense. You got a guy like Zaccheaus who's been around for a while who probably could be in the slot and do some things as far as the balance of the big receivers, and he could be the guy in the middle doing some things over the middle or actually getting past some nickel cornerbacks. I think we'd be able to do so. The main thing is we were in a situation where we had to piece together some wins. Literally, we had to piece together some wide receivers. We had to piece together a defense, and it managed us to look better than what we were. Shout out to Coach Arthur Smith, because that was just a good coaching job. Because based on what he had in front of him, we could have won maybe 3, maybe 2 games last year. But with the mentality that he has, he did not want to go down like that. And he's really in the mindset of winning a lot of football games. I think I did an episode of him a while back about, what he perceives this team can do and what he's shooting for. He wants to win Super Bowls, not a Super Bowl. He wants to win Super Bowls. And from what I see, the transition from year 1 to year 2, it looks like he's putting that together. He brought in Mariota. He brought in Desmond Ridder. He brought a plethora of receivers in. He let Dean Pease get some of his guys that he want to for on defense. The offensive line kind of been addressed. The defensive line, the pass rush definitely been addressed. So when you really look back, I think there's room for there's room for improvement. This team has improved, but looking at what Zaccheaus said, teams feel like a playoff team. I understand as a player you have to have that confidence, and I'm sitting here thinking like, I don't know, but he may not be that far off when you think about it. The competition we play is tough. And I know what we're playing against, the NFC West and the AFC North. And we also have to deal with our people in the NFC South. It's going to be tough. Is it doable? Yes, I think it's doable. The main thing is we just need to sustain long drives. We need to sustain long drives and get points. We also need to find a way to not turn the ball over. Also on defense, we need to bend but don't break. I don't think we're going to have like this world-class defense, but if we give up anywhere between 14 to 20 points, I think we're going to be in really good shape. I think we'll be able to pull off 8, 9 wins, maybe even 10 wins. But we gotta hold a lot of teams down as well as executing our game plan. We don't need to be in a situation where we're trying to find ways to play catch up with these teams. We have a lot of teams that can score a lot of points, but we don't need to be put in a situation where we're playing catch up to keep up. I don't think Ritter or Mariota should be in that position to do so. Can they do it? It's a tough battle. It'd be a really tough battle for them to do it, but it can be done because we have the receivers. Not only with Zaccheaus, we have Drake London, Brian Edwards, Auden Tate, Frank Darby. I think it was some other receivers that we talked to. Kadaro Hodge is another one. We also have, let me get the other guys up here. I want to put their names out there to let you know. We also have Damian Byrd, Geronimo Allison, Cameron Basin. We have some pretty decent receivers, so we can throw the ball around and get some completions out of here. On the field. But at the same time, I want us to be in a situation where we don't have to do so much to keep up. I want us to just play our football game, play safe, and worry about what's in front of us instead of trying to worry about trying to keep up. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's the way I look at it. If we're playing keep up with the likes of the teams in the NFL, we're going to be in a world of trouble. One thing I will say about Arthur Smith, he never really put us in a position to actually try to play keep up. I think outside of the Dallas game and outside of the Patriots game, those two games are the games that we really wet the bed on. All the other ones, we were just playing teams that were slightly better, if not much better. With that being said, I want to know what the defense can do to make this team more formidable, because we are playing teams that are better at this point, and we're going to be playing teams that are better next season, this season coming up, and we're really going to have to find a way to get some W's against those teams, because I don't feel like our team is bad. I just more feel like this team is like a year away, because the other teams that we're playing is going to be more established, and if they're more established, they're going to be ready to go, and they're going to be put in a position to pretty much having an advantage over us, because we're still a young team. We're still a new team. All this team is getting together and gelling together against teams that already have. So this team could feel like a playoff team, like Zaccheaus said, but defensively, we got to be in a situation where we just bend but don't break, because if we're in a situation where we are, holding teams down to even between 14 to 20 points, we should be able to do some things offensively to win those games. You also have to understand, like, this league is in a situation where if you're scoring 30, 35, in some cases 38 points a game, you're elite. If we can come back, and I think last season we actually averaged like 27 points a game. Defensively, we gave up 27 points. If we turn that around and knock it down like 24 or even 20, man, we could, 9 or 10 wins wouldn't be that far-fetched for in a big scheme of things at that point. It would not be that far-fetched. I feel that we could be in a situation to do so with this defense. You got Grady Jarrett on the line, Lorenzo Carter, Ebikete. You also have Troy Anderson, Rashad Evans, D'Angelo Malone. The secondary is kind of put together a little bit better with A.J. Terrell, Casey Hayward. Richie Grant's going to have to step up. And there's a lot of other people that I haven't mentioned, like D. Alford is another one. There's a lot of guys that can actually do some things when it comes to putting this defense together. I think we have the talent on both sides of the ball to do so. I think the main thing is, can it be sustained to the point where we're going to be doing some really, really big things? What are we going to be doing with that? Are we going to be in a situation where is it going to be in a situation where we're going to be playing catch up, or we're going to actually be in control of our own destiny? If Mariota or Ritter behind under center, if we can actually, just maintain drives and not turn over the ball, that goes a long way. If the defense can play bend but don't break defense, we can go a long way. Because, at the end of the day, before I close, I want to, get into this and say this really quick. In the fourth quarter, if we can hand the ball off to a guy like Tyler Algier or even Cordell Patterson for that matter, or any of the running backs that could wear teams down, nobody going to want to play us in the fourth quarter in a close game. And it's one of the reasons why I say I don't want to play catch-up with any of these other teams, because if the game is close and we can run the ball and, actually, control what's going on, I think we'll be in the situation to actually get some W's. We can get some good wins like that. Tyler Algier is one of these running backs that gets better as the game goes along. So in the fourth quarter, who wants to tackle him? So with all these receivers that we have, the quarterbacks that we have that can actually distribute the ball, the tight end Kyle Pitts and Fursker and I think, Fitzpatrick? I can't remember the other tight end that he was drafted. But we get all of these guys here gelling together. If it can happen sooner rather than later, I think we can actually, shock a lot of people. I really believe that we can shock a lot of people. And I think that's one of the things that we need to focus on. A lot of people say, this team can do this and do that. If the confidence coming from players and they feel like a playoff team, and if they can show it and they can play that way, that'd be a really good thing. And I also feel that the way this team is set up and I'm watching what they can do, I think that's actually a pretty good look. I actually, it looks really good on paper, but they're going to have to actually implement it on the field. Can they do it? They have the weapons. That's one thing I can say. With all those receivers and the running backs that we have now and the defensive players that was implemented, I think we can do it. I think it can be implemented because we have the talent. Can it be put together? That's another thing. All right, since it's Friday, I don't want to keep you guys out here much longer. If you like this commentary, hit the like button. If you like this podcast, share this podcast. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. You can go to any of those avenues, subscribe. I suggest you to subscribe to more than one, because one of these avenues may go down. And if it goes down, it may be, rather difficult, to find me. Because I know that happened one time. The YouTube side went down and people were trying to figure out what was going on. That's why you go to the audio side. And also you can listen at your own leisure and or listen to other podcast episodes that's already been uploaded. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Or the start of your weekend. Enjoy it. Take time for yourself. If any news come up, I will be posting it on this channel. Anything happens throughout the weekend, definitely will be making an extra video. If not, I will see you guys on Monday. All right, y'all. Thank you for all the great numbers and all that other good stuff. The numbers are rising. It's all thanks to you guys. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.